The new Range Rover Sport is a true Swiss Army knife of a car. It's an off-roader, obviously. It's faster than some Porsches. It'll take 7 people, like an MPV. It's a proper luxury car, and it even does first-class air travel.
Yes, it's the all-important Boeing 747 test. The Range Rover Sport is supposed to be good off-road, so it should be a cinch to drive up the ramp and nip along the fuselage.
I'll tell you what, this would be quite good for getting onto Ryanair, actually, beating the queues. It's quite a surreal experience. We're pointing right up into the sky, and we're about to nip through the fuselage. They've set up some obstacles inside, here we go. And the Range Rover Sport is coping very well so far. I feel like we're about to tip over. Straighten up, I think I've got some ramps here showing off the axle articulation. Tell you what, not many cars would be able to do this. We're going up now into first class, I think. Here we go. You can see the pilot's cockpit in front of us. But actually no, we're going to drop beneath on our way out of the front of the plane. This is quite extraordinary. It's a great way of showing off what the Range Rover Sport can do, that's for sure.
Like a Boeing, the new Range Rover Sport is made from lightweight aluminium, not steel, and that's because the new Sport uses the oily bits from a £70,000 Range Rover. This means the car weighs 450 kilograms less than its chubby predecessor, and that's great news for performance, economy and handling. We're fans of the styling too. It somehow looks more discreet, more classy than the old Range Sport, which always left your neighbours worrying you were a footballer or a gangster. But that's enough of a theory. Let's see what it's like in practice.
The first Range Rover Sport was launched in 2006, and here we are 7 years later in a second generation. You can choose 2 different engines in your new Range Rover Sport. There's the 3-litre turbo diesel, which will be by far the most popular in the UK, but we're actually in the 5-litre V8 supercharged right now. And that develops 510 horsepower, would you believe? That's like more powerful than most Porsche 911s. Very, very fast, and it sounds absolutely fruity when you floor it. One of the key changes on the new Range Rover Sport is this aluminium architecture. It means it's much lighter, makes it more agile. This car is very responsive through the corners. It's got electric power steering, but you would really be hard pushed to tell. Feels really nice in. If you put it in dynamic mode, you can actually stiffen up the suspension. The steering gets a little bit firmer, more responsive. It's 10% quicker, the rack, than on the Range Rover. So this car is really quite agile. It's one of the main things they wanted to do. They wanted to put more clear water between the full-fat Range Rover and the Range Rover Sport this time. I think they've succeeded.
Variable ride height, full-time 4-wheel drive and clever electronics governing each wheel's grip. This is a proper Land Rover. We've come to this forest to see how it'll cope in the muddy stuff. This is what marks out the Range Rover Sport from a competition.
The Range Rover Sport is pretty incredible off-road. It can go up and down objects which would just be physically impossible in other cars. Beeping galore, but it can go up and down incredible objects, brake over angles, etc. Quite different to other cars.
Every model comes with all seasons tyres as standard, which is great news for winter snow, while the full-time 4-wheel drive and low-range transfer box are mind-bogglingly effective at channeling drive to the wheels that need it most. The clever air suspension raises the bodywork by 115mm to clear rocks and tree stumps underfoot. It's clever stuff, and we can't imagine wanting to take the Range Rover Sport anywhere it couldn't actually drive to.
And there you have it, the Range Rover Sport. It really is a proper all-rounder.